guys, it's Joe of WagerTalk.com. Are you guys going to come over to WagerTalk on July 4th? Well, you really should. You're likely aware that we'll be offering every daily pick package for only $9 Friday to Monday. But did you also know on July 4th only, we will have a great special 7-day all access packages for just $76 for the week. That is less than $11 a day, you guys. So make sure on July 4th, you head over to WagerTalk.com and get this deal. 1 week of picks for just $76.
Happy Friday, guys. Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com, filling in for Andrew McInnes. If you remember on Wednesday's show, he is in a car driving to Montreal, obviously trying to get into that Tampa Bay hotel, pull that fire alarm, anything to get the Canadiens a favorable result tonight. We are going to discuss, obviously, Game 3 today. With me is Bryan Leonard. I'll bring him in a second. Want to wish you guys all a happy 4th of July weekend south of the border. It was Canada Day up here yesterday, and a ton of fireworks up here. So it seems like life is slowly starting to return to normal. Let's bring in Bryan Leonard. Bryan, first off, hope all is well with you. Second off, before I give you the next word, I got to say, man, I see you got a 5% play up today for Game 3. And those things, when you release them, have been absolutely money. 12-2 lifetime at WagerTalk with your 5% NHL plays.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a series I really haven't gotten involved in as of yet, but I do like tonight's game. And I saw the ad for the July 4th promotion. Tremendous savings for anybody who's looking to get our plays over the next week. Quick Canadian July 4th story. I may have said this once before, but about 30 years ago, we went up to catch a Blue Jays game, and we went up on July 4th, which is the American holiday. And we're sitting around, and we're the only Americans there. Everybody's Canadians. We're talking to the people behind us. And my buddy wanted to say, when is your Independence Day? But he says, when is your July 4th? And the guy looked at him like, July 4th. And we all started laughing because it was just something that it came right out of his mouth, but we knew what he meant. But it sounded like one of the stupidest questions I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, listen, we might have a few of those July 4ths throughout the year. Like we have a Victoria Day weekend, which is like your, we call it the May 2-4 weekend, even though it doesn't fall on that weekend sometimes. We have Labor Day in September, and it's just another excuse to fire off those fireworks. But the way the last 14, 15 months have gone up here, and especially where I am with everything pretty much on lockdown, we might have that revolution sometime soon again. So at least in Montreal, and this is one of the reasons why Andrew made his way there, 9.5-hour drive. He might be listening to us right now in his car while he driving there, but they're supposed to be allowing more fans into the arena, so at the Bell Center, and it's a fantastic venue for watching a playoff game. So hopefully he has a good time and catches the tail end of this show or some of the show there. But you mentioned that promo, and I do want to mention to you guys again, you saw it at the top, essentially Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every single package at WagerTalk is $9. That includes 5% play. So Bryan's play that would normally go for $35, so you get it for $9. Absolutely fantastic deal. Or you can get 7 days of plays for $76. Also a very good deal. So head over to WagerTalk.com and pick up that deal. Guys, let's get right into this game. Bryan, on Tuesday's show, and we were looking at the lines here, Tampa is still a favorite, minus 135, up 2-0 in this series. Montreal plus 115. The puck line, Tampa minus 1.5, plus 195. The total sits at 5 here for this one. And Bryan, I talked on Tuesday's game about, Andrew and I threw it back and forth on Wednesday's show about the game one. It was obviously a big win for Tampa Bay, but Montreal needed to make the changes, much like they did in the Vegas Golden Knights series, where they lost that first game by a slanted score line. And I talked about the fact you got to get some shots on goal. 5 shots on goal in the first period, 5 shots on goal in the third is not how you're going to win games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, let's see what they did in game 2. Absolutely much better. 43 shots on goal, 13, 16, and 14 over the 3 periods. I would say a little unlucky, Bryan, in that game because I experienced this in the Carolina series, trying to back Carolina against Tampa. Is Carolina only made a couple of mistakes in a game and they paid for it. Tampa made them pay for it. Montreal made those mistakes in game 2 and paid for it. I think they deserved a better result. What were your thoughts on game 2?
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the reasons why I like to bet hockey because it's such a luck factor involved. Going all the way back when Vegas played Colorado. Colorado beats them 7-1 in the first game. Everybody thought, oh, Vegas is a fluke, and it may have turned out they may have been, but you were able to take advantage of Vegas the rest of the series and be able to make some money in that regard. And we've seen that many times in where a team just is not prepared for game 1, especially when you're coming off of that series that Montreal has. Beating Toronto, beating Winnipeg wasn't much, but beating Vegas, I mean, you're going to have some sort of a letdown. Tampa came into this season expecting to be exactly where they are right now. They're the champs coming from last year. Montreal as a team was an afterthought. And I've got to be totally honest with you. When they made the coaching change for Montreal, I didn't like it because I'm really big on the advanced stats. And the advanced stats showed that the Canadiens were a better team than what their record was. And all season long, I thought it was a bad situation. But now we've gotten to the playoffs. I've seen what Montreal has done. And in our industry, we are wrong a lot. And I admit I was wrong in that regard. Montreal has been terrific ever since the coaching change in regards to getting to where they needed to be. And hats off to Montreal. And you took a look at the first 2 games. They're actually being outscored 8-2 here. And now you're going back home. But if you take a look at the 5-on-5, sure, Montreal's been outscored 7-1, but they've got an expected goals differential of plus 0.52. So their percentages should be a lot better when it comes to the actual goals. They've had the expected goal edge. When you take a look at the high danger chances, they're square up at 14 apiece. So it's a situation where Montreal should have better success. Now, you mentioned last game they started putting the shots on net much higher than they had been in the past couple series, especially against Vegas. They were more looking to get that early lead and sit back on it. When you fall behind early, that takes Montreal out of their game. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Montreal come out in that first period and get a goal and hopefully settle themselves down to make this a more competitive series.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you, and I think that's where we're going to see it. Obviously, the things I talked about in that Wednesday show about where I thought this series was heading is obviously Tampa Bay. Vasilevsky is a very good goalie. Both are very good goalies, but having that last change, being at home, having that last change, gives them that advantage over Montreal. Montreal's very good at that coaching staff has been very good at making the right adjustments, line matching. You just don't have that in Tampa Bay. And Vasilevsky at home, I backed the guy at home pretty much all season because his stats were, his splits were so much better at home than they were on the road. And you look at it, regular season on the road, 13, 8-1, 2.63 goals against average, which is almost a full goal worse than it is at home. And then you look at the playoffs, and we know he's now 8-3 at home in the playoffs, only 4-3 on the road with a 3.00 goals against average. Again, worse than it is at home. So you now head to Montreal, and this is how I'm looking at it, anyways. Whether it's a simplistic point of view, but heading to Montreal, Game 3, where I expect the Canadiens to probably play one of their best games, but they're able to now match lines, get the right guys out there for those key defensive zone face-offs, which are so important in this game. And if you continue to fire 43 plus shots on goal on Vasilevsky, at some point you have to believe there something's going to go in, Bryan.
Yeah, it's more of a what kind of shots you're getting. We saw that in the Vegas series. They were getting plenty of shots. They just weren't getting the good shots. And that's what you got against. You mentioned Vasilevsky. To me, the best goalie in the league, especially when he's at home. And I watch a lot of the shows that I'm not on, and you've made that well known that how good he is at home. So you've got to have a major reason to go against him at home. But on the road, maybe a slightly different situation. The advantage for Tampa Bay is the line isn't really outrageous here. Money's come in on Montreal. It's gone down about 10, 15 cents since it opened. So there's a lot of people who are thinking that Montreal, this is their game. But as we have seen, and we talk about this a lot of times during the NFL season, teams that need to win a game doesn't mean they're going to win a game. You have to be able to come out and play. I mean, there's spots for everybody, which is why I love hockey, because you've got that, that's the entire season going on, NBA and hockey, where you could pick your spots and you kind of know when a team is not going to play well. Well, now that you're in the NHL finals, everybody's coming to play every single day. So if you like Montreal, unfortunately, you're not going to get quite the value that I thought that you could have gotten, last game or maybe earlier than that. But, it still makes a lot of sense to take a look at that way. But if you like Toronto, I think you're getting a little bit of a bargain here on the line.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I was completely wrong on that call with regards to this game 3 line. I thought if Tampa won that game 2 to go up 2-0 in the series, that they were going to go back to Montreal and they would probably be about a 165 to 170 favorite. Completely wrong on that one. I'm about 35 cents off on the line, which is a lot to be off on a number. Andrew made a good point, and he released this play prior to game 1 of the Stanley Cup of over 5.5 games in this series. And yes, while Tampa is up 2-0 in the series, you can still get Montreal. If you like Montreal to win game 3 tonight, then this series is going to go obviously at least 5 games, and you just don't know what momentum Montreal builds after if they win tonight. Montreal plus 2.5 games, Bry, is plus 155 right now. So that ticket cashes if it goes 5 games, is plus 2.5 games. Am I reading that correctly? Montreal, yeah, Montreal plus 2.5 games is that's correct, is plus 155. So you cash if that goes 6 games, not if it goes 5, because that's correct. Would you ever take a flyer on that? Like, assuming you you think Montreal wins game 3, would you take a flyer on plus 155 plus 2.5 games?
Possibly. The only problem is if Montreal does lose this game, traditionally teams down 3-0 really struggle, especially if they go on the road. But Montreal doesn't have to do that. They'll get the next game at home. So I originally said Toronto, and when I was talking about it earlier, I mean Tampa Bay. But there may be some value there. It depends on what you think of Montreal. You talked about Andrew going to the game. They've had 3,500. They wanted 10,500. The latest I heard was the Canadian government said, no, they're not going to let him do that. So if he does go to the game, it's going to be hard for him to get in. But at that point, just to be in that atmosphere in the Montreal bars, it may be worth it. I've been to some Final Fours in college basketball, and it's more fun actually when you are in the bars with all the drunks than it is to be at the game sometimes. So, and I'm sure it's pretty expensive. So, but if he drives all that way, he'll be able to see it one way or another. And it's an interesting game. But if Montreal does come up short today, obviously they may be done. The current line on playing Montreal to win the series, you can get it upwards of 10-1. Most places about 9-1. The sharper books in Vegas are saying that Montreal doesn't have a chance. and that's why they're sharp. They know that they're looking at a lot of the people who want to go out and play the team that's up 2-0 that seems to be dominant. But as we've seen in prior series, is that they can even up in no time. So if Montreal can do what they normally do at home, and take a look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is, I believe, they were 10 or 15, 10-3 on the road this year. So they've lost almost 50% of the road games, as good as they've been on the season. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Montreal was to win here, but you're not getting quite the value that you would have gotten in a game two if it had come here.
Yeah, no, and I agree, and we're seeing it in the numbers. But like even in going back to that game too, Brian, you know what I mean, like throughout the season, you were great at bringing in XG numbers and talking about that. And, when we would have guests on, like, let's say, like even like Kevin Dolan, who popped in a couple of times, he's an XG guy. Prez is more of a field guy. That was saying with myself, but you look at some of the numbers and we look back at game two, and this is what I'm talking about is as bad as game one was for Montreal, game two, they won the XG battle. The final numbers were Montreal 3.1, and this is, at 3.1 to 1.85, and that's the overall number. And even the 5-on-5 number, Montreal was 2.1 to 1.36. Again, it came down to Brian, those two mistakes. And Andrew was tweeting out like crazy during the game that, you know what I mean, like with Shea Weber and those late goals at the end of a period are absolutely killers on a team. And they scored with, I think, was it 0.2 seconds left on the clock, I think it was, on that goal. Those are just killer goals for a team heading back into the dressing room, because you don't have time to recover. You got to get into the dressing room and then you got to come out again and just do it. So with that said, would you, the XG battle, would we say Montreal's just winning this overall?
Well, if you're looking at expected goals, they're up 0.52 so far. So they're controlling the puck. They're getting into the Tampa Bay zone, and they've been able to get their shots. But it all comes down to goaltending and a lot of luck factor. Las Vegas just had two of those situations. They gave up a goal in the last second to one of the games in one of the periods, and then obviously Fleury with that, just a few seconds to go in that one period, and he blows the game, and so it can happen. There's so much luck involved, and like I said, that's why I like hockey. I'm mostly looking at underdogs. I'm looking undervalued favorites, and it's worked out very well for me. Number two on the site for the season, I believe Dave Koken is going to finish up number one. I don't think I can catch him, and we've had a lot of good guys on this show that have ended up with pretty nice records in hockey. And you mentioned Dolan. Hats off to people like you and Dolan who handicap soccer. You handicap everything else. I don't know how the hell you guys do it. I got my hands full with the big four sports. So hats off to both of you for having so much success and knowing so much about all these sports. It's tremendous to me that you guys can continue to pump up winners handicapping sports all around the world.
It's because I avoid basketball, Brian. I just
probably a good
very
thing
rarely
sometimes.
see me release a basketball play, but it's just I have my hands full with these other ones and stuff. As do you with baseball, another sport that's very tough to cap. You do well on it. Dave Koken does well on it. When Dave releases a 5% play, you just got to go out there and get it because they're very rare, and the guy does extremely well, which includes another nice winner on $2 Tuesdays with the Jays. I love when Dave has a big play because I just watch his Twitter feed because he literally is like a play-by-play guy. I'd rather listen to Dave tweet or watch Dave tweet than listen to Pierre Maguire ruin an NHL hockey game by making it sound like every player on the ice belongs in the Hall of Fame. But that's what he does and stuff. Brian, let me ask you this. As far as Andrew always talks about in-game betting, but I want to talk about pre-game betting and just the first period with regards to this game. So if I was looking at it I want Montreal to win this game, extend the series, and I think they played well enough in game 2 that now that those advantages of home ice and the last change no longer exists for Tampa Bay, and we'll see if Montreal can sort of flip the script here. Would you look at the premise of saying, well, Carm, if you like Montreal to win, then you should probably take Montreal in the first period? Is that a kind of way to looking at it?
It's interesting. I've done studies on this and I've read a lot of smart people. And normally your home advantage dissipates as the game goes on, except for hockey. Hockey's just the opposite. So as the game goes on, in fact, I learned a lot of this by looking at the live betting numbers. You would see a team let's say there's a $2 favorite, and 2/3 of the game is over. They're going into the third period and they're tied, but yet the home team is still a 2-1 favorite, or maybe even a little bit higher. And it never made any sense to me. And then I started reading articles on it, and it is in hockey. As the game goes on, the home advantage is stronger. So I know you mentioned Dave. Dave's had obviously number 1 in hockey. He likes to play a lot of first periods on the underdog. Makes sense, but in actuality, your home ice advantage is better as the game goes on. Basketball, on the other hand, a lot of times you can make, especially in the playoffs, first quarter, first half bets on the underdog coming home 0-2 has been excellent over the years. They make you pay a premium on it now, but it's totally opposite in hockey than it is in the other sports. And it's something, if you didn't study it, or if you don't live bet, you wouldn't have known that. So even though I would agree, you would think that they would come out in the first period and have their best period, in reality, you may get the victory, but you're not getting the line you probably should get by playing that.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Absolutely. Guys, don't forget, it is the 4th of July special over at WagerTalk.com. From Friday to Monday, including Monday, of course, any single package up at WagerTalk, any daily package, you can get it for $9. That includes 5% plays, and Bryan has one up for the NHL tonight. He's 12-2 with those. You can get also a 7-day package for only $76. That's less than $11 a day for those. Also a fantastic deal with a lot of action still ahead, whether it's Euros, soccer like I have up, hockey, baseball, basketball. There's just a ton of action still to go. Bryan, listen, man, tell us what you have up for tonight and for the weekend, if anything, as of yet.
I just wanted to touch on the deal that you spoke of. If I was to take advantage of it, since we're doing $9 plays Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would wait until Sunday to sign up. That way, you're able to get that $76 special, and it would include the days that they're in normal price. So I think that would be a better deal to take a look at it. I do have the 5% up in hockey today, 12-2 overall in my career on 5% hockey plays. Overall, 5% is very good overall in every sport. Working on the baseball package as soon as we finish up here. I've got the baseball show later on today, so I'll have some baseball up. And you mentioned the last couple of days, baseball been very good. I had Seattle yesterday at plus 175 underdog. That worked out very nicely for our clients, never in doubt. So hopefully I can pick some more underdogs in baseball and get us some more profit. But yeah, that's what I've got going right now. As for the rest of the week, it's all baseball. I'm working on football right now. Hopefully I can get some plays up in the next couple of weeks here for week 1, try to take advantage of some weak lines. But yeah, busy time of year.
Right. I like that that thought process of waiting until Sunday to take advantage of that 7-day package. It's literally like me deciding which credit card I'm going to use, because I need to make sure I maximize my points as much as I can. I'm a points guy. I literally collect as much points as I can and take advantage of it to get deals. So I love the analogy you used. Tell us what you or give us a show best bet, and then I'll do mine and we'll close out the show.
Yeah, we're looking at the under in today's game. First 2 games, 8-2, 5-5. So basically, we're looking under 5. We're looking a little bit different here. With the Habs coming out last game and changing around a little bit and trying to get more aggressive offensively, Tampa Bay may have thought that would be the case. They weren't sure. Now that they've faced it, I think they come into this game a little bit more prepared. That means they're going to be better defensively. And now that the Habs have already seen what Tampa Bay has tried to do, now they get the last change. I think that's an advantage for them too. So I expect this to be a lower scoring game. I think defenses roll out here. And even though the line's at 5, I have a hard time seeing this game go to 6. So to me, it's somewhat, it's not quite, but it's somewhat as a free roll because I think it'll be a low scoring game. And if it does get to 5, you push instead of lose. So I look for this game to be a low scoring affair, a lot of physical play. And the good thing is neither team wants to commit a penalty, because once you commit a penalty, you put the other team on the power play, and you don't want Tampa Bay on the power play. So I think Montreal plays a nice clean game, and this stays under the total.
All right, love it. Good luck to Bryan on his 5% play tonight. Pick it up at WagerTalk for only $9. Myself, I have a couple different soccer cards up, actually 3 different soccer cards up for today, including a 5% play, some cards for the weekend, a play on the NHL game tonight. Andrew McInnes is in our chat, so it looks like he made it to Montreal safely. I am now going to blow his mind with my show best bet. For the first time in probably all season, I'm going to choose this team. I'm going to take the Montreal Canadiens at plus 115 to win tonight's game. I think the atmosphere, even with only 4,000 some odd fans in stadium, in the arena, but having that last change, the Canadiens have done a fantastic job of being able to line match, and they did it in that series against the Vegas Golden Knights. And, you know, I mean, while game 1 didn't go their way, and game 2 didn't go their way, they were much better. Eliminate the mistakes, and they have a fantastic shot of winning tonight. I wish I had a better price, but I'm going to take the plus 115 with the Canadiens, and that's going to be my show best bet. You see Bryan's, it's up on the screen there as well. He's got the under in the game, so we have a couple plays on this one. I'm good with a 1-0 Montreal victory. I'm not sure that's going to be the final score, but that would be great. Guys, tune in again on Monday. Andrew McInnes will take over the reins again. I will be on my way to Vegas for 7 days, where I'm going to watch the semifinals of the Euros and the finals. I may pop into Wednesday's show live from my cabana. We'll see if that works. But in order to do that, we need to get to game 5. So go Montreal tonight. Have a fantastic and safe 4th of July weekend. And that's it, guys. Have a great day.
With the WagerTalk one-day Power Pass, you receive every play from every betting consultant for 1 day at the ridiculously discounted price of just $1.99. What's better than 1 day of great games? Watching, following, and winning those games. Get your sportsbook edge with the entire WagerTalk team of handicappers with this one-day Power Pass, every WagerTalk expert in every game they release for just 1 day. Your WagerTalk one-day Power Pass is right here, and it's yours for just $1.99.